Greetings to all viewers. This is Professor Ankit Singh. We'll now move to the next type of defect, that is slippage cracks. So slippage cracks are crescent shaped or horseshoe shaped cracks or tears in the surface layer. It is the asphalt where the new material has slipped over the underlying course. Okay, so as you can see here, the top layer or the surface course, if it slips over the underneath layer, then we can observe these type of cracks. Okay, so this is known as a slippage crack. It is caused by lack of bonding between layers. Acceleration, deceleration and sudden breaks on the roads are what leads to the slippage cracks. So sudden acceleration or sudden deceleration or sudden braking might lead to slippage cracks. Mostly these cracks show on intersections due to stopping. Okay, so the next type of defect is weathering and raveling. It is the adhesion between the asphalt, cement and aggregate. Okay, it is the break in the adhesion. Okay, sorry, it is a break in the adhesion between the asphalt, cement and aggregate. So basically what happens, the road disintegrates, the material disintegrates. We can observe that the aggregates come out of the layers due to lack of binding. Okay, and you can see a weathered surface over here. Okay, this is nothing but traveling or weathering. Deformation starts with the breaking up of the fine aggregates in small pieces and leaves small patches over the pavement. Later the larger aggregates break and leave the rough surface. There are many reasons why raveling can occur, but one common cause is placing asphalt too late in the season. Okay, traffic loading is also one of the reasons for raveling. Okay, so if during the construction of the road, if we lay the bituminous layer too late, okay, that could be one reason, and the other reason could be excessive traffic loading. Now the next type of defect is rutting. The depression formed in the surface is called as rutting. Now this rutting is the depression along the wheel path. Okay, so it is this type of depression which is longitudinal, which is in a longitudinal direction, as you can observe here. This is formed in the wheel path surface along the way of road. It is caused by insufficient pavement thickness, lack of compaction of the asphalt, stone base or soil, weak asphalt mixes or moisture infiltration. Okay, these are the causes. Lack of compaction of the layers below, which could include the lack of compaction in the stone base or the soil layer. And if we are using weak asphalt mixes or weak bituminous mixes, and also if there is any moisture infiltration, okay, moisture seepage from the top or bottom, okay, then this could be caused. If rutting is minor or if it has stabilized, the depressions can be filled and overlaid. Okay, if the rutting is not in a greater magnitude, then what we can do is we can fill in this depression using a bituminous mix and then compact it. If the deformations are severe, the rutted area should be removed and replaced with a suitable material. Okay, so next type is corrugation. What is corrugation? See, as you can see here, corrugation is the transverse deformation. Okay, this wave like structure that you can see on the roads, but in the transverse direction, not in the longitudinal direction, it is in the transverse direction. So transverse undulations appear at regular intervals due to the unstable surface course caused by stop and go traffic. Okay, the only difference between rutting and corrugation is the direction of distress in the undulation. Okay, in the rutting we have longitudinal undulation and here we have transverse undulation. Distress takes place along the direction of the road, and in corrugation, distress appears in the transverse direction. Where the traffic starts and stops, these distress are observed. Okay, these ripples or waves can be formed at the spots where the traffic will either start or stop. Then we have bleeding. The excess bituminous binder occurring on the pavement surface causes bleeding. If there is an excess of bitumen being used, okay, then there are chances that it comes to the top of the pavement and then it gets accumulated there. This is known as bleeding. Bleeding causes a shiny glass-like reflective surface that may be tacky to touch. Okay, usually found in the wheel paths. Because along the wheel paths the loads will act, and due to loads acting on that path, then there is a chance of oozing up of the bitumen, okay, which causes bleeding. Then we have frost heaving or swelling. Okay, so you can see a swelled up surface. Okay, this is nothing but this is due to the swelling due to the infiltration of water, and later on at cold temperatures that water might freeze and expand in volume and hence cause this type of expansive surface. Upheaval is a localized upward movement of the formation of upward bulge in a pavement due to swelling of the subgrade. Okay, water comes into the subgrade and then if it swells due to formation of ice, then it would be seen on the top surface as well. That is known as upheaval. This can be due to expansive soils that swell due to the moisture or frost heave, ice under the pavement. It can be recovered by full depth patch. Okay, in this case what you'll have to do, you'll have to take out all the material up to the full depth and then fill it again and compact it, forming a patch. So here you can see a frost heave patch. Then how do you do the maintenance of these type of failures? So one of the technique that we can use is bituminous surface treatment. We treat the surface with bitumen. Okay, also known as seal coat or chip seal, is a thin protective wearing surface that is applied to the pavement or base course. It is provided to protect the underlying pavements and for improved skid resistances. It offers preventive measures from the effects of sun and water, both of which may deteriorate the road. Okay, so in order to protect the top surface or the bottom layers, we can apply a coat of bitumen. Okay, that is known as bituminous surface treatment. Or we have a asphalt overlay. We could just provide a overlay on top of the surface using asphalt. Okay, asphalt is an impure form of bitumen. Asphalt overlay is a paving method of applying new layer of asphalt to the deteriorating surface. An asphalt overlay project will use the existing layers as a base for the new asphalt pavement. Okay, so whatever the existing surface is, we consider that as a base course, and then on top of it we just provide a overlay. Some asphalt surfaces with severe damage like rutting, potholes, large cracks, expansions will need to be milled before an overlay is applied. Milling is just removal of that deformation. Okay, milling is the removal of the top layer of the asphalt that has been taken on by cracks, raveling or any other kind of deformation. Okay, so these were the defects that we can see in flexible pavements. Now we move to the rigid pavement failures. The first type of failure is spalling. Okay, spalling at the joint, cracking, breaking or chipping of the joint cracks, edges, or it is the breakdown of the slab near the edge of the joint. So here you can see this portion breaking up of the slab at the edges or observing cracks over there, it is the spalling of joint. Usually occurs within 0.6 meters or 2 feet of joint crack edge. Okay, so within 0.6 meters from the crack edge we can observe this type of failure. Loose debris on the pavement roughness, generally an indicator of advanced joint crack deterioration. Excessive stresses at the joints due to wheel load, freeze and thaw cycle, and insufficient strength are the main reasons of this type of defect. Then we have scaling of cement concrete. It is nothing but the peeling or flaking off of the top layer of the skin of the concrete surface, which you can see here. Okay, it may be due to improper design mix, excessive vibration during concrete compaction, performing finishing operation while bleed water is on the surface. Okay, this can also lead to scaling at the later part. Then we have shrinkage cracks. Okay, so what are shrinkage cracks? It is a formation of hairline shallow cracks on concrete slab, which is the indication of shrinkage cracks. Okay, so these here are shrinkage cracks which we can see on the surface of the rigid pavement or the concrete roads. Shrinkage cracks develops on concrete surface during the setting and curing operation. Okay, if in the design mix, if there is loss of water and at the time of hydration there is insufficient water, then there are chances of shrinkage. Okay, and also if there is excessive cement being used in the design, in the concrete mix design, then there are chances of shrinkage cracks. These cracks may form in longitudinal as well as in the transverse direction. Then we have warping cracks. So as we already know what is warping, warping is the upward movement or the downward movement of the concrete slabs due to change in the temperature at the top layer or the bottom layer. Okay, now due to this deformation, cracks would be formed. Those are nothing but the warping cracks. So in hot weather, concrete slab tends to expand. Therefore, the joints should be so designed to accommodate this expansion. When joints are not designed properly, it prevents the expansion of concrete slab, and this leads to development of stress. This stress causes formation of warping cracks on the concrete slab near the joint edges. Okay, so if the joints are not properly designed, then there are chances of crack formation at the edges. Okay, this type of crack can be prevented by providing proper reinforcement in the longitudinal and transverse joints, okay, like double bars and ply bars. Hinge joints are generally used to relieve the stress due to warping. Then we have mud pumping. Okay, this is the important defect that we need to consider for rigid pavements. So firstly, let us have a look. When material present below the road slab ejects out through the joints or cracks, it is called pumping. And when soil slurry comes out, it is called mud pumping. Okay, so if the joints are not filled properly with a filler material, and if the bottom layer is weak and there is presence of water in that layer, then during the deformation of the rigid pavement, there are chances that through these gaps the material below might pump out, okay, from these gaps. That is known as pumping. And if the soil slurry, okay, or soil mixed with water comes out, then it is known as mud pumping. So what are the common reasons? Infiltration of water through the joints, cracks or edge of the pavement, which forms the soil slurry. Okay, if there is any infiltration of water, then it will combine with soil to form soil slurry, which is weak and which might come out when the load is applied on the pavement. Movement of heavy vehicles on pavement forces the soil slurry to come out, causing mud pumping. When there is void space between the slab and the underlying base or subgrade layer. Okay. So this is the mud pumping operation. So this is it for the types of defects in pavements. Start with the next topic in my next class. Thank you.